million in my account was crazy to me.
Right.
So my first time, I went pulled out all my money and just took $1 million and just played in it. Didn't tell nobody, just took it out and just had it around the
What you
hotel.
mean? Hold the fuck on. You mean you just went to the bank, got $1 million in cash, and just basically threw that shit in the bed and made love to it, basically?
I threw it in the bag, and I got to my room, and I had fun with two shorties. Like, I was just throwing it in the air.
$1 million cash.
$1 million cash.
Today on our show, we have former NBA champion, SEC Player of the Year, McDonald's Parade All-American. The basketball accolades go on and on and on. But it seems like he's falling on hard times. Welcome a personal friend of mine, Glen, Big Baby Davis. What up, boy? What's good? You all right? Good to see you. It's the word. It's been a minute.
I know, man. Just, been grinding, baby. I've been watching you, though, man.
Man, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Been a long time, man. You're like my little big brother, man. Word, man. So listen, I was doing some background check, even though I know we know each other well. But I was like, let me see. I never Googled this nigga, because you've been my nigga. So I read some shit. When you was 15, you went to LSU camp and you body slammed Shaq or some shit. Is this true?
But yeah, bro, it is true. Because when I was growing up, right, I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and when I was growing up, I was a Shaq fan.
Right.
Right? I used to think, my shoes was big, I wore 34, you know what I mean? I always was a big kid, so I got a chance to meet him because I kind of grew popular in the sports world in Baton Rouge, where I was from, and went up there and seen him at LSU, and kind of crazy, like called him, followed him.
Or some stalker shit?
Kind of a little bit.
A little bit, all right.
But Mr. Mallet, one of his advisors also that he used to work with closely back then, invited me over for spaghetti.
Okay.
So I kind of like, hey man, what you doing? I'm by your house. Man, come through, eat spaghetti.
Right.
And he's in there. And so, man, out of nowhere, this man, playful guy, he like, yo, let's go outside and wrestle. I'm like, what? Let's go wrestle.
Pause. How big are you, pause, at this point?
I'm like, I'm about 6'5".
Okay.
320.
All right. Oh, you was a big 15.
That's when I was a big 15.
Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
Eating all the snacks and stuff. So went to go play with him, man, and chill. He just wanted to go wrestle. Ended up going out there, grabbed him, threw him on the ground. Mallet was like, hey, don't hurt him. Like, you know what I mean?
It's Shaq, nigga, don't fuck the money
Yeah.
Right.
So, I got a chance to slam him on the ground.
At 15 years old, he ain't feel away?
I think he kind of let me a little bit. You
Yeah.
can tell, you know what I'm saying? But he
right.
wanted to see my strength.
Gotcha.
Probably. So.
I'm about to say, because I might have felt the way if you really slammed me and I'm Shaq, a 15-year-old nigga slamming Shaq. Let me ask you, what do you miss most about playing in the NBA?
Golly, right? The NBA did so much for me, but I feel like the thing that I miss, right? I would think the people, right? NBA got a chance to touch a lot of people. The fans, the locker room, being in the locker room and chilling and watching KG talk about, his time in South Carolina, the
camaraderie.
Yeah, the camaraderie. I miss that the most because, when we went on our little winning streak, it was magical. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So, you brought up KG. I want to know, you played with a lot of people. Who was your best teammate?
KG.
Hands down.
Hands down.
Are you saying that because you know if you don't say that, he's going to call you and have a problem with you?
Hands down.
Because KG, I have a feeling if you don't say KG, me and my man was talking about that. He's like, if he don't say KG gonna lose his mind.
Like you got to think about I was his rookie basically.
Right.
And it wasn't just on purpose.
Right.
You know what I mean? It just happened. You know what I mean? I remember my first day of playing pickup and KG was there.
Right.
And he was the 4, so I had to play against the 4.
Right.
So I get a shot, right, and I shoot it, and I make it, but I held my follow through up, get up, stay up,
Right.
just to make sure.
Right.
He talked back, he looked back like, you talking shit, motherfucker? I'm like, nah, I ain't trying to talk shit, big fella.
Relax,
Like,
nigga.
I'm like backpedaling, like, nah. I'm just trying to get my little swag, my little get it up. Fuck your swag. And I looked back at him and said, fuck your swag.
Yeah.
I thought I was gone after the next day. I thought I was gone. But I think that right there set the tone for me and him. You know what I mean?
Gained disrespect.
Yeah, and like the next day we go in and we have breakfast and so I'm trying to get breakfast and he's at the waffle machine. I'm thinking that's the most best place you could ever, right? Because y'all both trying to make waffles like the morning, you know what I'm saying? So he don't say he don't say nothing to me. He don't say nothing to me. So I'm like, oh shit. And then next thing you know, I'm like, man, I gotta apologize to him. He, for him not to say hey, I said hey. He's like, look, walk past me. Right. So like for him, like I was like, I gotta apologize, like. Right. And so I walked up to him and said, man, I'm sorry for yesterday, man. I hope that don't got nothing to, like I'm a big fan. Right. Like, and he smiled, he laughed. He was like, I fuck with you. No, exactly like that. And so after that, I was his rookie. So
that's what's up. Okay, speaking of teammates, what happened between you and Ray Allen? Where's your friendship at today? Why does he feel you betrayed him? What the fuck happened between you and Ray Allen that he has a problem with you? Or do you have a problem with him?
I don't got a problem with Ray Allen.
Right.
Like, I love Ray. Like, it's Gito Shuttlesworth. Like, that's my childhood. Like, we watched the movie. Right. Like, but I just don't like what he did, but I get what he did.
Hold on, just so everybody's clear. When you say you don't like what he did, leaving Boston and going to Miami?
Just right back, like just,
right
like
after
it was just like
right.
And it's gang,
But
so.
I think that Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce and maybe even Rondo may have got over that. You still ain't fucking with it. You ain't jacking it.
I'm cool with it. I don't got
right.
So I got bigger fish to fry.
Right. Exactly.
But I'm cool with it. I love Ray. I learned a lot from Ray. Being a rookie and having to go early and Ray's right there beside you, like in the taxi cab, getting out right with you because he's showing up like a rookie and working out extremely hard before the game. Like that takes a lot of discipline. I watched him do a lot of things. So I love Ray. It was just. Kind of gang mentality at that time, Well,
he says he feel that you betrayed him or something like that.
But I don't got no problem with it.
Because you basically said how you felt. And I think all of y'all felt like that. It wasn't just you. It was, remember Kevin Garnett wasn't fucking with him.
Everybody, everybody had a reason, But Ray's different, He's I respect Ray, but at the same time, I don't like LeBron and them either. Like, I'm like KG. Like, I went to his school. Right. So, I love Ray. Ray's a great guy.
Did you feel even more mad when he won the championship after he left?
Oh no, I was excited.
I would have been pissed.
Especially because when he hit that shot, I was like, okay, you went there for something.
Gotcha.
You didn't go there for nothing.
Gotcha. I would have been hating me personally. That shit would have pissed me off even more. You won a championship after we leave. Then you're the reason
why they win a championship.
When they win a championship, when you could have been the reason we win another championship. But that's just me.
Yeah.
Do you feel, as far as your NBA career, that you reached your maximum potential, or do you feel you left some on the floor, or it was right where it needed to be? How do you feel about your NBA career?
I think that's one of the things I deal with, especially depression. Because I think about my career and how much time and effort that I put into it, and the fact that it ended the way it ended. Right. I envision myself, playing more than 8-9 years in the league, but I didn't get that opportunity. I didn't get that opportunity to do that because of injury. What was your breakout moment, whether it was college, NBA? When did you really feel like you said, Glen Big Baby Davis has arrived? What moment was that for you? When I think back on my career, I would have to say college. What was it? What was the game? What was the moment? Was it a game? Was it that the females liked you? I would have to say it was college. It was just the year right after Katrina. Okay. That summer when Katrina happened, our team knew something was different between us. because we had a chance to see some real terrible, horrible things as far as Katrina,
Right.
you know, and we got to see that first class, you know, right there, you know, being able to help evacuees in the Pete Maravilla Facility Center. Our whole team came in there. You know, I got our whole team together and said, hey, we need to go help. And, you know, we went, you know, helping people, watching people, you know, die, all type of things, you know. And I think from there, it kind of gave us a sense of unity, especially already because we were all from Baton Rouge and we wasn't far away. When you think about our first 8 players, you know, it was special. You know, that whole year, that, you know, Katrina, you know, situation kind of gave us a sense of hungriness and to be able to play for something, right? To be able to go on TV and represent your state after they had something terrific, horrible happen to them, and be able to, you know, help them fulfill that, you know, that all that disappointment and disaster stuff that happened, to help them kind of move on, you know, and give them something to be happy about.
That's really dope, because you're saying that your first moment wasn't even a basketball situation. It was more about helping the people in the community.
Yeah, you know, that first year was, you know, that second year going into it, you know, John Brady was like, hey, this is your team now.
Right.
And, you know, when Katrina happened, I took it upon myself, like, hey, we got to do something. We're healthy. We are, you know, blessed to be able to be 45 minutes away and nothing happened to us. So I felt like we got to go do something. And since, you know, from there, we just became real tight. Like the whole year, you know, we showed so much promise as far as, you know, going to Connecticut and playing, and, you know, and then at the same time, like after all that, going to the Final Four, you know, beating Duke, you know, especially after that happened, you know, that was just such a uplift for the state. I would have to say that was one of my most proudest moments. And hey, big baby has arrived.
Right.
You know?
Now that's what's up. So when you did get to the NBA, what was the first thing you bought with a big check when you got your money?
I bought so much stuff, bro. But I think the thing
What stands out?
What stands out the most to me, like I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Like it ain't the prettiest place. Like
I've been there.
You know, it's tough. Mm-hmm. So for me to even be able to say I had $1 million in my account was crazy to me.
Right.
So my first time, I went poured out all my money and just took $1 million and just played in it. Didn't tell nobody. Just took it out and just had it around.
What you mean? Hold the fuck on. You mean you just went to the bank, got $1 million in cash, and just basically threw that shit in the bed and made love to it, basically?
I threw it in the bag, and I got to my room, and I you know, I had fun with 2 shorties. Like, you know, I was just throwing it in the air.
$1 million cash.
$1 million cash.
2 shorties.
2 shorties. I had some 10s and 5s in there, but I was going crazy.
I know they ain't leave with the $1 million.
Nah, I gave him a little 10 piece.
All right, I ain't mad at 10 piece out the $1 million.
Yeah.
What you think the stupidest thing you bought with your money?
Stupidest? I don't really think nothing I bought was stupid. You know, I would just think gambling. 50,000.
Yeah.
20, 30.
Yeah, in one pocket.
Yeah, like, you know, like 100K. You gotta pay to Vegas 200K.
Gotcha.
That's wild.
Gotcha.
I think that's the wildest things I was doing.
Cool. We're sitting here with Glen Davis. We'll be right back. Welcome to Fleeland. Today's show is sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. The app's a cool way to make some cash while placing money on some of your favorite players. The app's available in over 30 states, Florida, California, Texas, New York, just to name a few. Make sure you download the app and they'll match your deposit up to $100. Also, today's show is sponsored by Pink Horsepower. If you feeling like a freak, want to get them sheets and hit some cheeks, make sure you go to pinkhorsepower.net. I'm not only the CEO, I'm a client. And we're back with Glen, Big Baby Davis. Now, A lot of shit been going on in the news, the blogs, so on and so forth. And I actually brought you here today because I want to hear your side of the story. I don't want to read what somebody said or hear somebody else talk about you because they got it from third party, from a fourth party, from a fifth party. And being that I have a relationship with you, I said, I think I need to let Glen tell his story because your story's not being told. Stories about you are being told. So I said, I don't want to do too much homework on this and read. I want you to tell me exactly what happened. So the first thing, before we get into anything else, you had a marijuana case in Baltimore for possession and distribution. What was that about?
At the time, I was traveling, and I would have a label, and I was over there recruiting an artist, white rapper from Hartford.
And this is in Baltimore?
Yeah, in Hartford County.
Gotcha.
As I was going over there, I had my regular possession of marijuana that I always carry around me, and I always keep like 4 zips, always. But I had some cash too. Right, so I had like $96,000 that I always carry money around because I gamble a lot, So as I'm going to Maryland and we go in the hotel, like he comes knock on the door acting like we wanted towels. And I was like, I didn't want towels. And then
when you say he, who?
The manager at the hotel where I was at in Hartford County. As I go to the door, I'm like, we didn't ask for towels. He was, so he leaves, then comes back and knocks. He's like, hey, knock. He's like, if you don't, you guys are selling drugs in here. I'm like, what? I'm like, no, we're not. Like, I'm just rolling up some weed. We about to go out and smoke. Like,
and where were you staying at?
I was in Hartford County, so I was like.
I mean, what kind of hotel was this?
It was like a Holiday Inn, because out there, it's not really nice hotels out there.
Gotcha.
Like, so I was staying over there. So as he comes, right, I'm in there, and my sister's best friend was like, "Yeah, we should leave. Like, we should get out of here because I feel like he's gonna call the police." Like, So, not thinking anything, we literally leave. But my sister, my sister's daughter's boyfriend, like, had to go back to go get her phone. So we had to go back. Right. And as soon as we get back, police are at the door. And I'm like, oh, look, what's going on? Like, so, I was like, you can't search my room. Like, they had already went in my room before I was even there. They went through. Right. Nobody was in there. But then they was like, oh, we want to search your room. And I was like, you got to go wake the judge up. And so they proceeded to do that, waiting, and they found my weed and my money. And, I have a cannabis business too. So they found all my cannabis business, stuff like that. Right. But they, the 4 ounces is what, and the money is what I got arrested for.
So that's where'd they get distribution from? They just attached that to the charges?
They just attached that to the charges because of, they said that I was selling it, and I was like, no.
No proof of sales, no little zip dime bags or jars or nothing. Just the 4 zips of the cash.
Just a vacuum seal it. I just had to vacuum seal it just to make sure, every time I open and close it. But other than that, that's why they hit me with that.
That's right.
But they end up throwing it away. So.
All right, that's good. Even better.
Yeah.
So, in November of last year, you was facing up to 20 years for allegedly defrauding the NBA healthcare program, and ended up getting 40 months and 3 years supervision, if I'm not mistaken, and that just took place, and you're supposed to go in later this year. I read a lot about this, like I told you before we started this segment, but I didn't want to read. I wanted you to tell me exactly what happened, so therefore we don't have to hear it from anybody else.
So, to explain the situation,
and not to cut you off, remember when talking about this, you're gonna have a lot of people saying, "Oh, that's what happened," or "That's what didn't happen," because a lot of us, including myself, we always hear third party. So I want you to be very detailed, if possible, exactly from top to bottom what happened.
Yeah. So what it is the NBA Players Association and the NBA, right? They came together with a collecting and bargain agreement. And with the collecting and bargain agreement, the players and the owners put money in a pot. And that money in the pot goes to the health care for you after your career.
Right. And let me ask you this, because I don't know. Is this for the rest of your life, or is it a certain limit? Okay, so once you're in the NBA, and is it a certain amount of years you need to play to get the health care?
4 years.
Okay.
You're available to
So if you play 4 years in the NBA, you'll have health care for the rest of your life?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. I just wanted to understand.
But you got to put the money in. You have to put the money in, and the owners will match what you put in.
Okay, so basically, I'm just being transparent because I don't know. Let's say you, out your pocket, Glen Davis's pocket, you have to put 90,000 in?
I have to put,
and the owners will put 90.
I think it was 16,000 at the time.
Okay, I was just using a
And so
hypothetical.
the owners matched it.
Okay.
And that goes to your health care.
Okay, gotcha.
And so, as players, when I retired, I didn't know. I wasn't in touch with the Players Association. It wasn't like they sent me a brochure like, hey, this is what you have. And then my financial advisor didn't know nothing about it, And so when I was working out in Vegas, and one of the players, Alan Anderson, came up to me and asked me, he said, hey, are you paying cash for, your injuries and everything you've been through? And I was like, yeah. And so he was like, hey, you have, health insurance, I was like, okay. He's like, how do I get, attached to it? How do I figure it out? And after conversating with him, he taught me how to get into my account and see how much money I had. And so I looked, and I had a lot of money. And, it was shocking to me because in 2015, my last year with the Clippers, I broke my ankle. But the thing was, the Clippers misdiagnosed me. And they were just saying that it was, hey, me being overweight, and you broke, and your foot sore, because before I came to the Clippers, I had a fifth metatarsal break. That when I broke it.
What is that exactly?
A fifth metatarsal break is the pinky bone, right? It's like the pinky bone, right, in your foot.
Okay.
And so I snapped that bone, and with that being such a little bone and me being so big, it was kind of hard for me to heal. So I had to get another surgery, right? And so I had to go back in and take a graft piece of my hip and a screw about this big, right, to put in my foot, and then put the bone marrow over it, and then let it heal.
Wow.
Because the original, I don't know why the doctor didn't do it before, but they said it's just procedure that they have to let it do it first by its own and see if it heals. Right. But it didn't. So I had to go back in, get the screw, get the bone graft, and then that was my second surgery on my foot. But then I was with the Orlando Magic at the time. So the process was easier, right? I was in-house. I had somebody watching me every day. I had somebody making sure I was eating the right things, doing the right stuff. And so the process of healing was better. But the Clippers assumed that it was that injury. And so they didn't tell me it was broken. When I left the Clippers facility for my last exit meeting, it wasn't an MRI. It wasn't anything to, hey, let's check on your foot to see if it's okay.
Let me ask you this before you go on. When you say the Clippers didn't tell you it was broken, were you telling them, hey, my foot is hurting, something's not right?
Yeah.
And you were going to get tests or something like that, to where they should have told you your foot was broken?
Yeah, so when I broke my foot, it was, I think, Game 4, Game 5 against the Spurs.
And this is the Clippers versus
This is the Clippers against the Spurs.
Okay.
And it was a difficult year because Doc was the president, and he just paid Spencer Hawes $22 million, and he wasn't fulfilling his duty during the year. Right. And so when the playoff came, he came to me, somebody that he knew, that he can trust, And so I jumped all on that because I've never sought so much with him. Like, I didn't play a lot. Like, I played 10, 15 minutes here. Right. Blake and DeAndre were the horses, and then he paid Spencer to kind of, he paid Spencer a range shooting four, but, couldn't really defend. So,
right.
He would rather live with me than, live with Spence. So I started to play in the playoffs.
Okay.
And Game 5, I broke my ankle.
Okay.
I was trying to deflect the ball from Tiago Splinter, and then, I tried to pivot to go back the other way, and my foot just my ankle just pow.
Right.
And so, as you can see, I had to get wheelchaired off.
Right.
I
remember that.
And I didn't get any real x-rays, right, or MRIs or anything like that. It was just like, oh, your foot's, you're overweight, your foot's just not healthy.
So just so we're clear on where you're at right now, you know something happened during the game. You get wheelchaired off. No x-ray, no MRI.
At the end of the season, no x-ray, no MRI.
You're just assuming that.
That it's just sore, what they're telling me. And so I'm going back to Baton Rouge to rehab.
Okay.
As I go back to Baton Rouge to rehab, I'm feeling it's not feeling right. Something's wrong. And so I get another check, and they did an MRI and an X-ray, and it was like, yo, your foot's broken. And so at that time, it was September. And when September hit, as you know, like a basketball season, it's ready to start. Yeah. And so my foot's broke. I can't go and try out for anybody. Right. And so now I get into this big depression. Right. And that's when, I didn't have the help. I broke my foot on their time, but I couldn't go to their facilities. I had to go to somebody else's facilities where there's thousands of other people there working out, and never really having the one-on-one as like the NBA gives you. If I broke my foot playing in the playoffs, I should be able to still have that access no matter if I was a free agent or not. I was working. So, I didn't have that, and that was tough because at the same time I was dealing with a divorce, and I was also dealing with my agent's brother got murdered by his spouse, and it killed him, and it killed me also too.
Let's not rush past that. Mm-hmm. Your agent's brother got killed by his spouse.
Yeah, by his brother's girlfriend. They had a kid together. She shot him in the head.
How did that affect you or what you had going on? If it's your agent's brother.
Yeah, because my agent, John Hamilton, his brother was Daryl Hamilton, baseball player. Okay. Played for the Mets, played for the Rockies, was an MLB analyst. John Hamilton was a father figure to me.
Gotcha.
When I was 14, and he's seen that I had promise, he's always been there. Paying my cell phone bill, making sure that I eat, making sure that I have food, or being able to go on a class trip. Like, he was always there for me. Right. And so now when he comes to a point when his brother dies, like, you don't expect that. Now he got to raise his brother's son, right. And so that hit me also too, because I didn't have his attention, especially.
That's what I was going to ask you, because maybe the attention you may have been getting from him, it got diverted because he had a family tragedy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was going through a real tough time at trying to figure out my career and like, is this it? And, that happened, and then, I got the drug charge. That was the drug charge after that,